Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. My name is Drew Larison. This is MTM, also known as Mayor Tyler Moore. Mr. Mayor, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Good to be back. Sorry I caused a little 2-week hiatus with things going on over at City Hall and just in life.
No worries. It happens.
Good to be back.
It happens. I was traveling a bit, and it's just what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. How you been?
Good. Busy, but good. We were just talking. I had, I think, 3 different events that I was originally slated to participate in over the weekend, but ended up in the great state of Missouri to follow my son-in-law in his NCAA Division IV wrestling regionals. Unfortunately, he did not place in the top 3 to make it to nationals, but nonetheless, it was a nice trip with my daughter and my wife, and riveting day in the arena there at Central Missouri University, right smack dab in the middle of Warrensburg, Missouri. And it was nice. Nice weekend for a drive.
I don't think I've ever been to Missouri. And it's in the Midwest. I've never seen the Arch.
A lot of people go to St. Louis. I've only been to St. Louis when I was a kid, so supposedly I was like 2 or something and saw the Arch, but that was the extent of that. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, I see people dropping. Jumping. That was drumping. That's what that word was. I see people dropping into the live. If you have a question for the mayor for the Ask the Mayor segment, go ahead and drop it below. We'll get to it. But before we get to anything further, save big this tax season with our tax time savings event at Robert Miller and Son. This March, enjoy 30% off all furniture, plus an additional 5% off when you pay with cash. That's 35% off with 0% interest financing for up to 60 months for eligible purchases. You can bring home top-selling pieces like Lazy Boy recliners, Smith Brothers living room sets, and premium mattresses without breaking the bank. Spend your tax time savings well at Robert Miller and Son Furniture here in Kokomo.
This is the season. Good.
Gotcha. Okay, what's going on at City Hall? A lot of things.
Oh, a lot of things.
Been in the news, not going to lie.
Been in the news a little bit. We've had some discussions in regards to how things may play out with the folks from Chick-fil-A here in a week or so. It's the Planning Commission meeting is a week from tomorrow, March 11th. So hopefully things will go well there. Also, since we've been on last, the court did rule in favor of the city of Kokomo in regards to our situation with Kokomo Baseball, the owners of the Jackrabbits organization. And so we're in the process of trying to line up management of the stadium for the summer to coordinate events, to coordinate sport events, so community events, sport events, mainly baseball, not just some collegiate games. IUK, Kokomo will still be there, but our Kokomo Cubs of the Kokomo United Baseball and Softball League bring some of our local kids into the stadium to take advantage of a game or two on the big field and just see how the summer plays out as we then look to courting a new ownership organization to bring that level of college baseball back to Kokomo for the summer of 26.
Love that. Okay. So let's talk through both of those. Chick-fil-A, right, has been conversation for a bit. They announced they were coming and they were choosing the spot in front of Hobby Lobby. And then there was a long pause of trying to figure out things with the city and the planning commission and things like that. And then there was a vote that stopped the progress on that specific spot.
Correct.
What happened after that? Chick-fil-A came back and they said, but we really want to go there. So talk us through what happened.
Okay, so backing up to almost probably a year or so prior, you're correct. Chick-fil-A went before the Board of Zoning Appeals because what they wanted or needed to do on that particular site, they needed variances. And variances are just legal permissions by a city governing board. In this point, point, it was the Board of Zoning Appeals, which are appointed positions, to then get permission to do on the lot what they wanted to. So those variances, all but one cleared, and I think the one that didn't was the amount of signage they wanted on the building. But regardless, that was approved, and so the process then began not just on establishing the plat, which is just a cookie cutter cutout of the parcel where it would go, because as the current ordinance stands, you can only have so many existing structures on a lot with square footage and everything, and so that's why they had to carve out a portion of that lot in order to place that Lego piece there. That wasn't the Chick-fil-A folks doing it, that was the property owner. So a lot of folks are saying, oh, well, what they're doing there is going to take away from parking or affect traffic, whatever, for the tenants in there. That was taken into consideration, which is why the property owner was the one requesting that plat cutout, and then the Chick-fil-A folks bringing the site plan. So for about 8 or 9 months, the city, the representatives from Chick-fil-A, the representatives from Sandor, which is the property owner, as well as the representatives from Hobby Lobby. So they allowed the largest tenant there to come in and be part of that discussion. They spent a good portion of 8 or 9 months drawing, erasing, redrawing, resubmitting, sharing to come up with how best to have traffic flow, not just within the property, but then exit strategies as well. And so when they were finally ready to move forward, there were 2 cases that were coming before the Planning Commission back in January. One for the plat, which again was just the cookie cutter cutout of that piece of the parcel. And then the second case would have been the site plan development, which shows where the building was being placed, what parking was set up, how traffic was going to navigate, and that. So it's 2 separate things. So plat needed approved first. That was the case that came before the Planning Commission. And so there were apparently a number of members on the Planning Commission that had concerns with the site plan and voted down the plat based on their concerns with the site plan. So 2 separate issues. So when the plat got voted down, the Chick-fil-A folks asked that the site plan be continued as they addressed the plat. It came back in February. They asked for justification from the members for voting against it because, again, the plat has nothing to do with where it was just what was being cut out and carved out of that parcel. And so the Planning Commission, realizing that they might have gotten their concerns, mixed up or kind of the cart before the horse type of deal, voted then to rehear the case on the plat. So that is what is coming before the Planning Commission on next Tuesday, the 11th. So not only the plat, but they are then resubmitting the site plan. So it'll be kind of a repeat of the January meeting that they'll hear the plat first and then site plan if the plat is approved. So that's where they be at this point. Long answer, but that's
seasoning, flour, oil, all of that for some fried chicken.
Yes.
Unreal.
Yes.
Okay. Next Tuesday. Voting again. Okay. We will see how that works. All right.
And it's a public meeting, so folks are encouraged. I mean, if they saw that the Planning Commission members who represent the citizens of Kokomo and are supposed to act in the best interest of as many of the citizens of Kokomo as they can. Yes, may have concerns with the placement or whatever, but Chick-fil-A has indicated that's the only place they're going. So if folks, are in support of Chick-fil-A coming, they should show up at the meeting and be sure to let the Planning Commission members know that they want that. Likewise, if there are still concerns that folks may have about it being placed there, even though Chick-fil-A's told us they're not, considering any other spot. If Chick-fil-A is to come to Kokomo, it is going to be in the lot in front of Hobby Lobby. They're off of 931. They're not considering any place out by Championship Park. They're not considering anything on the south end, north end, down by, Boulevard Crossing and all of that. I mean, this is where apparently they've done their market research for the last handful of years, and that's where they want to land. So either way, folks are encouraged in support or in opposition to come to the March 11th meeting and let the members know what they feel either way.
That's democracy, folks.
That's democracy.
All right, so that's the Chick-fil-A situation. Now, what happens so the Jackrabbits are no longer in Kokomo. Court ruled towards the city.
However,
after
that ruling, the Kokomo Baseball Organization has 30 days to appeal that ruling. So we're
think they will?
Kind of in a holding pattern now. Hard telling. They may not. I mean, I know the Northwoods League, which basically is the overall league within which the Kokomo Jackrabbits are a member. Feel that they have a little say in what happens here too. I don't know if they try to exercise an appeal, if that's permissible or not. I mean, that's up to either the court or the attorneys to decide. But hard telling.
Okay.
If they will or not. So using this 30 days to try and get ducks in a row as to who we may be able to line up to manage the facility and what that looks like and such. And so that, as well as getting ideas together for what can go into an RFP or a request for a proposal to send out to interested team owners that may be willing and again interested to bring a team to Kokomo for the summer of 26.
So that is a desire of the city to have another team we similar to that situation just in Kokomo.
We wanted a team here in 25, and back when we were at odds with the Jackrabbits, it had basically thrown out on the, tell you what, let's do a 2-year extension. That'll give you time, because the owners of Kokomo baseball have indicated for longer than I've been mayor that they were trying to sell the team. And so 2-year extension, and with them having this summer to go ahead and sell the team and have the new owners kind of pick up or have part of a season to kind of test things out, do a 26 season, and then decide at that point if they stay in the Northwoods League, go to another one ever. But and that was back in October, and unfortunately, I guess you could say neither side really came to terms on that offer or what that would actually look like, because we were hoping to have something settled in October or November in order to still have an organization playing baseball in the stadium this summer. So there still will be baseball. It won't look like normal, but we even there could be exhibition games from teams close by that the stadium is not being used, and it's like, hey, we'd love to go to Kokomo. We'd love to Kokomo. So you get 2 teams from 2 completely different cities on a neutral site maybe coming in and play. So there will be activity for the citizens of Kokomo to enjoy in the stadium this summer.
Okay, sounds good. And then the mystery of next summer. See what's going on over there next summer. Okay, what else is going on at City Hall? I mean, that sounds like it's enough, but anything else going on?
Continue to work on beefing up public safety. We've got our largest recruit class for the fire department starting here in the next week or so. We've got 8 recruits, 8 top-notch recruits started, and so they'll go through that process and we'll eventually end up on trucks probably close to August, just based on that training period. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 new police officers also going through training, and so continuing to add both numbers there. Social media, both departments, one showing that a couple of our firefighters and some other EMS and first responders were honored by Ascension Health for some life-saving efforts in recent weeks. So that was very cool. That was last Thursday. We've got, I think, 3 new additions to Kokomo's SWAT team. I
saw that.
So cool stuff. Check them out on their Facebook pages, folks. Got a lot of cool stuff going on in both our police and fire departments.
Very cool. Love it.
Yep. Parks Department, of course, gearing up for spring activities, so that's always fun as well.
Anything big planned already this summer?
Just a summer concert series that'll be back. I know Kyle Gibson with Coterie. We've enlisted his services because he's done an amazing job with the Riverwalk concert series. And
is the Riverwalk still going to be a thing?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
He's still going to pair up. He'll still be able to do both and kind of possibly even feed off of each other. So we thought that was a natural fit, and we're ecstatic when he agreed to help us out with that, and has really taken the bull by the horns. I guess you could say Ben's crooked one too.
There you go.
And really driven it. And so looking forward to a fun season. I think he's already thrown out some teasers for the June 7th, I think June 7th concert. I'm thinking it might be a Blues Brothers type of tribute band, the way
Can't go wrong
that
with
the
that.
hints on his Facebook page have shown. So expect a fun summer concert series again this year.
Always. Love it.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay, let's get into, we have a few questions in the live chat today.
All right.
Not a lot of pre-show questions just because we were off a few weeks, but here we go. We got some live chat questions. So first one is from Josh on Instagram.
Hey.
Tyler mentioned pickleball and tennis courts. Where are these going and when?
Cutler Park this summer. So EMB Paving is helping us with that. And actually, and I say Cutler Park, and people are like, where the heck's Cutler Park? For those that are familiar with our local baseball leagues, it's the old East Side Little League diamond there by Elwood Haynes School and Critter Corner and, out that direction. So Cutler Park will be placing tennis courts and pickleball courts there. And then also, I know originally we were talking about the miniature golf course that was slated to go down in Highland Park, the area that we had selected there. Actually ended up being in a floodway, so there can't be improvements there. And so we're moving the plans for the miniature golf down in Highland Park out to Cutler Park as well. So all kinds of improvements out there, the tennis and pickleball courts, as well as miniature golf. They're being run by the Bridges outreach folks. So really transforming that area. It's in a busy area out close nearby Championship Park if people are looking for something to do, and it's out by the mall and everything. So really excited about seeing that small park really get transformed and some new life breathed in it.
Love it. Okay. Next question is from live chat from Eli on live chat. Hey, MTM. I love when people call you that. There continues to be construction on a building behind my home. The contractors block the entire alleyway and even my driveway constantly. There are several people on the street and a business affected by these blockages. What would you recommend citizens do when private businesses block public alleyways? Eli on Facebook.
Okay. Chances are we've got code enforcement involved in that because they inspect the plans, inspect the things that are going. So you could call code enforcement first to come out and see. I mean, if it is actually a private business. A lot of times, too, our engineering department is involved in what may be happening out there. So I'll call to the engineering department, might be warranted as well, but I'd probably start with code enforcement because chances are they've looked at to verify that they've got permits for the work, have already been inspecting some of the work to be done, and can help enforce things as well. So that would be my suggestion, or they're more than welcome just to shoot me an email with the address of their residence as well as the address of the business, and I can get that to the departments appropriately as well. So mayor@cityofkokomo.org or the code enforcement.
Okay. Next question is from, I don't think it's a name. It's SKFKDM.
Okay.
On live chat.
Hey.
There's a house on Apperson near Morgan that's absolutely disgusting, and their trash is starting to flow out onto the sidewalk and street. They have several children, and there were 7 cars parked there this weekend. Okay. Anyone who's driven by this house knows exactly which one I'm talking about. Okay. Will the city ever do anything about properties like that? On live chat.
Yeah. We will, and we do. Again, going back to code enforcement, I know they're kind of busy, but that would be the first stop is to make a call to file a complaint so that one of our inspectors can go out and assess the situation. And again, I know we've talked about this on many episodes before.
Code enforcement in general has been a hot topic lately.
Yeah. That and it makes sense. I mean, it's starting to get nice again. It's warming up. People are outside, and so when there's not snow on the ground, you notice things. But unfortunately, it's not an immediate quick fix. I mean, so what happens is that the property owner gets notified, they get an enforcement letter, they're giving them so many days to then clean up the property, and then if they don't, then the process begins to then legally gain access to the property in order to clean it up, and so it can take, unfortunately, upwards to a month or so to actually get or to see any enforcement being done outside of the folks, which again, we've mentioned this before too, people receive the notice like, okay, give me a few days. I've been tough. I had health issues or just obtain the property or whatever. I mean, so then they clean it up and code enforcement goes back out and say, okay, yeah, probably not totally all wet, but it's good, passes, sign off on it. And then, a few weeks later, people get lax again and then things start accumulating again, but just keep calling. I mean, that's, we've got them out and about and continued to provide letters of enforcement and such. But again, it's unfortunately not hey, we're here to get you to clean this up. And if you don't want to do it, we'll be back tomorrow with, a dumpster and some trucks to do it. It's, again, an unfortunate legal process just so that we have that legal access to the property in order to clean it up or remediate anything.
Okay. What are some, other code enforcements like that? I feel like I don't know what is a code and what's not a code sometimes. What's the best way for some people to look those up to see maybe if they're breaking the laws or not?
Yeah, so the list of codes and ordinances are on the city's website. That sometimes can be a little hard to navigate. A lot of times as well, you can even email the city attorney's office and say, hey, I've got a concern with blighted property. Can you send me a copy of the ordinance that has the specifications for, property maintenance or property upkeep or property enforcement or, abandoned vehicles.
The trash cans or the trash totes
being left out. Yeah. And that's,
our buddy Carl in the comments is always worried about the trash totes. Yeah.
I know. And that's, and they say, oh, you're going to say it's because there's lack of, bodies. It's true. We don't have additional bodies to, to go out and provide enforcement letters. That's something, again, as busy as our code enforcement inspectors are, if there's one that gets dedicated and we do, a intentional, maybe 2-month campaign, if you will, on trash totes and, and marking them and notifying folks and reminding them that they need to bring them back to their homes off the streets, after a day or so. After trash collection, that's something that we're tossing around and looking at how logistically we can best do that while keeping everybody on their respective job assignments.
Gotcha. Okay. Last question so far is from Lori on Facebook. Question about the water supply. There was a survey sent out a few years ago addressing the pertinent topics. Water quality was a topic. What became of the survey and what is being done to improve the Kokomo water supply? Downtown water smells of chlorine, not a great confidence booster. Lori on Facebook.
Okay. Water supply, any reports or surveys and such, because Indiana American Water provides the water supplies to the citizens of Kokomo. I know everybody's like, oh, it's city water. Well, it's city water because it's within the city of Kokomo. I know there are some municipalities that have their own water company or their own water supply or water service. We do not. Ours is through Indiana American Water, just like the electricity for street lights and such is through Duke. So if people have issues with street lights being out or the consideration for some being placed, they can address those on the Duke's website. But with Indian American Water, we've been given assurance, especially with all the development around the battery plant, that the water supply is adequate for the needs of the community as well as the battery plant. I know recently there was a town hall meeting out in Rocheville that Indian American Water had, that they were going to drill some more wells out that way in order to possibly tap into for any additional needs they need or would need to meet right now. But with what was originally proposed water supply wise for the battery plant and the suppliers has been drastically lower than what they had anticipated. So the water supply is still there. As for quality, our wastewater department tests all the inlets and outlets as well as companies to make sure that they satisfy those requirements. For the water smelling like chlorine from time to time, that would be if there's something specific being done with Indian American Water as they treat it. Just with some of that out, but I don't know what all is involved, or if it's just a temporary, additional, I guess, condition that they're witnessing. But I know that Indian American Water is bound not only by wastewater, but by the EPA and by IDEM, the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. And so with their restrictions imposed upon them for output, we've not been given any indication that they are not meeting those requirements by law.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Well, those are the questions we had today. If you have any questions for the mayor, leave it in the chat below or on a post that we usually put out on Monday mornings to get your questions in. Yep. Mayor, thanks for being here today. Do you have a dad joke for us?
Hey, well, basketball season is upon, actually tournament time, and the Disney princesses wanted in on the women's basketball tournament, and so they're putting a team together.
Good for them.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cinderella didn't make the cut.
Ah, she didn't?
Yeah, I know. Her coach is a pumpkin. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach as in like the horse-drawn coach.
Oh, I didn't
it's not
think of
like
that.
her, like coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what you say.
Go princesses.
Go princesses.
Go princesses.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. My name is Drew Larison. This is MTM. We'll see you next time, Kokomo.
See you, Kokomo.